Yo, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Power Sports Network. I'm your host, Jackson Powers, and yesterday, the Indianapolis Colts did play a game, Week 1, against the Houston Texans, and the Week 1 curse continued as they did lose by a final score of 29-27. Now, very close game. A lot to build on, but just still pretty disappointing, just based on the fact that we haven't won a Week 1 game in 11 years. It's a little disappointing. I really thought this was going to be the year we broke it. We came out, looked good early, had the lead for a little bit, and we're with the Texans the whole way, and it was a pretty good game all around. So I'm gonna get into the takeaways. The first takeaway is the jersey I'm wearing, Anthony Richardson. Now, Anthony Richardson, he didn't blow the stats out of the water. I mean, he was 9 for 19, but he had over 200 yards passing. He had 2 touchdowns and an interception. That really wasn't his fault. And then he also had 56 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown, which brought the game within 2 points and gave us a chance to win at the end there. So, yeah, I know statistically it doesn't look like he had a good game, but watching that game, he had a lot of promising stuff happen. Now, obviously, there's still some stuff to work on. He did miss some throws. There was points he didn't look good, and then there was some throws that should have been caught or been penalties. But hey, it is what it is now. Richardson, he looked very promising. And Richardson proved to a lot of people why he is going to be the franchise quarterback for this team. Because he went out there and like I said, he played very well. He gave us a lot of chances to win that game, especially in the fourth quarter. He balled out in the fourth quarter, which that's when you need your quarterback playing his best. And that is when he played his best, was in the fourth quarter. So that was a very good thing to see. It was very exciting to see that happen. So yeah, like I said, I know his stats weren't off the charts, but he's still a work in progress, obviously. He's not going to be Peyton Manning right away. Like, it blows my mind that some of these Colts fans out there are expecting him to be Peyton Manning right away, or Andrew Luck right away. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, Richardson didn't really get a rookie year, so this is pretty much his rookie year. And he's still got a lot to learn. He's 22 years old. That's like, for the second straight season, he's the youngest Week 1 starter. He is younger than all of the rookie quarterbacks that started yesterday. I just want to point that out. Like, just get off his ass a little bit. Like, he showed a lot of flashes. He showed signs that he was going to be good. And like I said, he balled out in the fourth quarter. Bunch of deep balls. His deep ball is beautiful. It was looking very good, aside from a couple overthrows to Mitchell. But hey, overthrows are going to happen. We got to be patient with Richardson. And like I said, his interception really wasn't his fault, because it honestly would have been a good pass lead, but he was trying to throw it to Kylan Granson, and Kylan Granson slipped and couldn't really get his footing back. He reached up for the ball. He was around it. If he doesn't slip, he catches that ball. Or at the very least, it's just incomplete. But it did. Granson slipped and it sailed and it got picked. But that was the drive that led to the Texans not getting a field goal before halftime because of the whole confusing mess that happened at the end of the first half. So it kind of washes out, because we could have had at least 3 points in that drive, but the Texans didn't get 3 points off of it. So, like I said, it washes out. So, yeah, I was happy with how Richardson played. And like I've been saying, wasn't off the charts, but he had 3 touchdowns, and that's all you really want. He was our leading rusher too, and yeah, I was very happy with how he played. That's what I'm getting at, and I understand what we have right now is not the finished product. He's only going to get better, and the most important thing is he finished the game. He didn't go out with an injury. He played the whole game, and that's great, because last year he only finished, I say he finished 2 games last year, because he missed like 2 plays against Jacksonville Week 1 last year. But he truly only finished 1 game last year. So He's already tied the amount of games he's finished from last year. So that was a nice thing to see. And like I said, I was happy with what I saw, and he's just going to continue to get better. So as for the rest of the offense, we had some guys that balled out. The offense overall, especially in the second half, they were kind of slow in the first half, but in the second half, the offense looked really good. Like Alec Pierce, he had 3 catches. He had 125 yards and a touchdown, including a 60-yard touchdown catch from Anthony Richardson. Ashton Dulin had a nice touchdown grab. Yeah, the deep ball was really our friend yesterday. And yeah, seeing Ashton Dulin score was kind of cool. It was his first game back in over a year because he missed all of last year with a torn ACL. Yeah, I was happy. The pass game looked pretty good. Our running game, Jonathan Taylor, I think he had 14 carries for 45 yards, but he did have a touchdown. So, that could have been better. But the Texans got a really good defense. That's something else we got to point out. The Texans have a really good defense, especially a good run defense. So I'm going to chalk that up to Taylor not getting an opportunity to pop one, because we were also running the ball a lot with Richardson and calling a lot of play action passes. So I'm sure as the season goes on, Jonathan Taylor's going to get incorporated more into the offense. But overall, I was happy with how the offense played. The offense, I didn't think I was going to say this. The offense is not why we lost. Our defense is why we lost, because that's the next thing I'm going to get into. So in the first half, the defense, they played okay. They only allowed 1 touchdown, allowed a couple field goals. They did a lot of bending but not breaking, and they looked pretty good. Second half, however, though, they really fell apart in the second half. Joe Mixon had a field day against us. He had one of the best games of his career. He had almost 160 yards rushing. I think it was 159 is what he had, and he had a touchdown. Just could not stop the run. And it was really frustrating because going into the season, a lot of us thought that our run defense was our strength, and it just was not good yesterday. Now, I don't know how much I want to overreact to that, because in past years, our defense has a tendency of really playing poorly in week 1. They will struggle in the first game of the season. Especially 2020 is the best example of that, because they had one of the better defenses in the league that year. But week 1 against Jacksonville in 2020, the defense was awful. Gardner Minshew dealed against the Colts defense that year. And even in 2022, when we really had one of the best defenses in the league, Davis Mills had a nice day against us. So, like I said, our defense does have a tendency to struggle week 1. So I don't want to overreact too much to that. Also got to keep in mind, the Texans have a very good offense. They got CJ Stroud. He did his thing. I think the main reason our defense struggled was 2 reasons. Number 1, our corners, our secondary is just not that good. Hopefully, Gus Bradley got the wake-up call that he needed, and maybe he'll go sign a decent veteran quarterback, because, dude, our DBs, they got cooked, especially Jalen Jones, number 40. He's not good. I don't know why he's a starter. He's just not good. Juju Brents is good, but I don't think he's a 1. I think he could be a very good cornerback 2. We don't have a true cornerback 1, and we need to go get one of those. So hopefully Chris Ballard wakes up and goes and do that. The second reason the defense struggled was because of the fucking play calling they got. Gus Bradley called that game so scared. He was so scared that CJ Stroud was going to torch him, so they kept playing zone. And also, they weren't sending any pressure. So, obviously, Joe Mixon had a lot of open holes to run through, and he was looking very good the whole time. And that's what I'm going to chalk it up to. Because especially in the fourth quarter, when the score was 22-20, the Texans had 4th and goal from the 3-yard line, and Gus Bradley lined up his DBs 5 yards into the goddamn end zone. And obviously, CJ Stroud had an easy touchdown. It's like, I don't get it, dude, because even like last year when we were up pressure against Stroud, he did not look very good. And even in this game, there was times we were up pressure and got a sack, and Stroud, he struggles a lot more against pressure. If you give Stroud a clean pocket, he is going to pick apart your defense, and that's exactly what Gus Bradley gave him yesterday. And we just can't be doing that. Like, I called for Gus Bradley's job last year, and honestly, we're getting to a point where I might be calling for his job again, because that defense was so fucking weak, it wasn't even funny. Like, we can't be doing that, especially if we want to be a playoff team. We cannot play defense like that, and you can't call the game scared. You gotta call what works, and what we did yesterday just didn't work. But I'm going to chalk all that up to week 1 jitters. Hopefully they get their shit together. And like I said, our defense really has a tendency to struggle early on in the season. So hopefully we can get our shit together. And yeah, overall, I was disappointed that we lost. I was mad that we lost. But once I calmed down and thought about it a little bit, I became a lot more okay with it, because there is a lot to be excited about with Anthony Richardson, obviously. And our offense, I think our offense is going to end up being really good this year. And we worried about the wrong side of the ball, that's for sure, because the defense is why the Colts lost that game. And I'm going to say it right now. The defense, it's a little concerning, but hopefully it's just week 1 jitters and they clean it up next week. Because next week we do play the Green Bay Packers, and Jordan Love, I think he's out 4 to 6 weeks, so he will not be playing in that game. It's in Green Bay. It's either gonna be Malik Willis or Sean Clifford who gets the start in that one. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully that's a good rebound game for our defense to have, and hopefully our offense can get it going again, and hopefully we can bounce back and win. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this episode on the Power Sports Network. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss an episode, and for everything in the description box. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.